How's it going, man?
It's good, man. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, no
Just
problem.
for a quick chat.
Get it not so whitewashed.
Oh,
Is
there
that
you
better?
go.
Yeah, there we go.
That's perfect. Well, I'm Joe, formally introducing myself.
I was about to ask you your name. I don't know any names. All I know is Onset App.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So,
Joe, from Onset App.
hi, Joe.
So nice to meet you. And you're
Nice to
Adam.
meet you. I'm Adam.
Cool. Well, I first off, I love all your stuff, all your work and your location adventures. And I kind of want to just reach out and talk to you about kind of, how you got started and, all that good stuff. And, some locations you love to go to, some on your bucket list, what kind of movies you're into, all that good stuff.
Sure. Uh, so how I got started, right? Is it the
Sure.
first
Yeah.
question?
Yeah. Go for it.
Uh, you know, um, Filming locations has always been an interest of mine. I feel like since I was a child. I just didn't really realize that until I guess I was able to actually travel and see them. But I guess I think my earliest documented filming location that I have on my phone is from like 2012
Okay.
when I first went to California and I visited the Murder House from American Horror Story.
Okay. Sweet.
The Office. I'm a huge fan of The Office.
Mhm.
Well, I went. Obviously, I went by the studio where The Office was shot, and so I have some photos there. But I think that's when that's the earliest that I can find like documentation of it.
Mhm.
But I've always had a fascination for like where it all happened, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And
Sure.
but just as I became an adult and been able to travel and whatnot, I always found that I would include, like, okay, so I'm going to this city. Well, what was filmed in this city? Because I'm going
Mhm.
to put it on and check that out. So that's it's just kind of how I travel now.
That's awesome.
Um, but what really propelled all of this was Breaking Bad.
Okay. Sweet. Nice.
Yeah, I got into Breaking Bad in like 2012. It was well into the series at that point, and after I finished it, I was like, I've got to go to Albuquerque. I've got to see these spots,
Mhm.
and I did, and I have been back countless of times.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean it's a good chunk of years, 4 to 5 years, from like 2014 to 2018, where I mean, honestly, that was like some of the best times of my life going to Albuquerque
Mhm.
and uh, seeing all those spots, man. Breaking
Sure.
Bad. And of course, Better Call Saul came around, so then we got those spots
There
to
you go.
check out. So that really solidified this hobby. And then after that, it was just like, what you see now? I mean, like when I go to, if I go to California now, I'm checking out the horror because I'm a horror fan too.
Me
So
too. I'm a
there's
huge horror fan, so I'm all there with you.
so the horror houses that I can, as many horror houses I can see, the Halloween stuff in Pasadena,
Sure.
and recently was in New York. I've been to New York a few times, but anyway, yeah, that's it's a part of who I am. When I travel, it's a big part of the travels. So
I love that. And I think I can totally agree with you there. It's like, I feel like it started out just like, you know, going on a vacation and then kind of looking for film locations kind of on the side. But now it's basically reversed where you plan the trip around the locations. At least for me, a lot of the times that's what it is. And I feel
yeah,
like that's something that, people like us who, love film tourism and all this, they do that. And I think that's so cool because it's like, oh, why are you going here? I'm like, literally go visit these locations. And they're like, why? And like, some people just don't get it. And it's
um,
such an unexplained feeling when you're on these locations, especially for movies or shows that you really love. Like, you were saying a horror fan. And, when I went to the Myers house, I was just like, I didn't know how to react. I was just like, this is so cool. Like being here. It's just such a weird feeling that is undescribable. And it's amazing, going to these locations.
on the opening shot of the first Halloween, that intersection. And I found that, and I was able to kind of be in that intersection and frame my shot. And even though it was in the summer, and so it didn't look anything like the film, actually, I pulled some leaves from around to try to kind of try to dress the.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I was trying to like, okay, this is not fall. I'm here in the first week of August. I can make this look somewhere. So I put some leaves in the foreground. I got a photo from that, but this is about 4 years ago. But I actually am going back to California in December, so I'm going to be able to recreate that shot again.
Sweet.
In a fall winter environment. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Oh, that'll be so cool. And I mean, they did such a good job of making that feel like Illinois and just the fall time. It's kind of amazing, when you're at that location, or just Pasadena in general. It's like, it looks nothing like, the Midwest. And it's crazy how they were able to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I love Halloween as well. But going along with that, like, what other horror, locations have you loved and have you been to, and that you've really, been into, I guess, like.
Oh man. Well, I live in Texas. So
okay.
Done any and everything regarding Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Sweet.
Over here. And I actually live probably about a mile away from where the original film, where the lot that the house stood on.
No way. Okay, sweet.
So I mean, I could go there in 3 minutes,
That's
but
awesome.
I actually checked it out the other day. It's really overgrown right now because it's summer. It's the end of summer, and not the best time to try to get up that road, because it's a I don't want to get into it because that's a whole other thing, but it's a shutdown. It's an abandoned road now. It's not operable, and but in the fall and the winter, it's pretty cool to get up there, and you can line up shots. I did a recreation of myself in a Leatherface costume.
Awesome.
Mask and toy chainsaw, and I did the whole dance.
That's so cool.
So I needed to match that. I couldn't continue until I did that. So yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original and the remake.
Okay, sweet, great.
Yeah.
The
house, the gas station. Yeah, everything's here, man.
So cool.
I've got videos of all of that. Yeah.
That's amazing. I went to Austin. I was in Austin for a brief 2 months ish. And I did as many as I could, but I did some of the original locations, like the house and the 2003 version. I did that house and a couple of the meat factory, and as much as I could in that time I was there. But that's one place I want to get to so I could do all of them, because it's such a cool thing. Like, the 2003 house, when I went to that location, it's literally exactly what I expected, in the middle of nowhere. Like, just there's a windmill just kind of on a dirt road. It is,
yeah.
So,
right across the street, windmills there, but they're very private. So you can't get a shot beyond the driveway. I don't know if anyone done that. So
yeah, I'd be a little nervous there to do that.
Very clear to not. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Saw some cameras and some signs and multiple, not just one. So, but that's really cool, man. I love. Oh, sorry, go for it. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say the gas station from the original, in Bastrop. It's about an hour east where I am. I've gone there a couple times. They do sell barbecue. They've completely. As of about 5 years ago, they changed ownership, and they turned it into. They replicated it to what it looked like in the film. So if you go to the 1973 film, is it 73? Yeah, right. Gas station.
24. But who cares?
In the film today, because the owner, as of like 5 years, turned it into I guess a horror memorabilia. If you go inside, it's a horror memorabilia.
Okay.
Store. So you can get not just Leatherface or chain, but you can get all kinds of horror memorabilia stuff, and it's a barbecue place, so you can eat there.
Oh,
you can actually stay there. You can actually stay overnight. They have cabin like Friday 13th type cabins in the back that you can actually
Oh,
for the night. I've done that. I've stayed overnight there. So yeah, that's in Bastrop, Texas.
okay. I'll have to do that. That is so cool that they made that into like a, almost like a museum slash souvenir shop slash, I don't know, hotel or
Before
whatever.
band building for
Mhm.
years. There's videos of other uh, adventurers that would document, and it was just abandoned. And then as of like 2016, somebody bought it and completely, like to the T, uh, matched it up to what it looked like in the film. So
That's amazing.
minus the gas tanks,
Right, right, right.
there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool. And I feel like that's one of the beautiful things about like the horror community as well, as like everyone's so passionate and like dedicated about it. And it's another weird feeling that you can't explain. It's like horror movies are just so like, I love it. Cause like, so I went to my first convention, the Halloween 40 convention was in Pasadena, when the new film came out in 2018.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never been to a convention before, and it was just such a cool experience because like everyone's there for Halloween, and it's not a lot of my friends are into horror like I am, and it was just cool to be around people who felt the same way. And then there was like a location tour, which is where I went, which is what I did for that's how I got to the locations. I did like a little VIP tour, and it was just like it was cool to be with a bunch of people who are in the same the same community and who feel the same way about that type of thing. And I feel like it's another reason why I love location hunting as well, is like there's so many people in it, and everyone's dedicated. Like your videos, like I think your videos are so cool, and I think videos are such a good way to show a location. Now where did your videos start? Now, were you always kind of into doing videos, or did that kind of come up
No,
after?
so I've always had a quote YouTube channel, but it was never something wanting anyone to see. It was just I started a YouTube account probably within a year or two after YouTube started. And
Oh, okay.
so wait, but at the time, like I have teenagers now, but at the time they were really small children. So I would like throw just life videos up there, like just to relieve storage off my phone,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Not for anybody to see,
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually learned how to turn those videos to private, and it was just a storage place. And then all of a sudden, probably within the last 3 or 4 years, I kind of started paying attention. Like there's other people that are doing what I do, and they're featuring it. Like they're showing their vlogs of their travels, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I can do that. I love documenting all my travels. Like it's a natural thing for me. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna go to this state and I'm gonna, film everything because I want to make a video. No, I do that already. So I'm
Right.
like, might as well just kind of like learn how to edit and make videos. So
Yeah.
I was influenced by a number of YouTubers that do this, and I kind of just like transitioned my YouTube channel to what it is now, which is, I mean, I've got a good chunk of subscribers, but they're the subscribers for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So my aren't very high, and I'm not even worried about that. It's more for me. Like for me, it's an archival. Like I can
Okay.
go back, I can watch my own videos,
Right.
and so yeah, it's I just now it's kind of like just it's part of what I do. Aside from the side by side photos
Mm-hmm.
that I post, those are
Sure.
just kind of, hey, I was here. Here's a, a teaser or whatever, or where I was at New York
Mm-hmm.
or Albuquerque, and then people who do know that I have a channel, be like, oh, he was in New York just recently. Let me go check his channel and see what video he's at. So
Yeah. I mean, I find
I'm hoping,
myself doing that. So for your channel.
I'm hoping that it gains some traction. Like I'm 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 connected with some pretty successful YouTubers that do the same thing. So I'm hoping that we get more views, but it's not that important. It's just, I
Well,
just do it for me.
yeah. And I think that really shows in like your work, and I think it's, having that personal touch is really effective. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love your videos as well. It's like, you know, besides the fact that, I always like, go on YouTube. I'm like, oh, where did he go? Or, all the channels I follow, I love seeing where people go. And even if it's the same location for people, it's cool to see their different, perspectives on the location. Like, watch your, did you make a Joker video? Are you going to make a Joker video?
I just put it up.
You did? Okay.
2 days ago.
Okay. So yeah, it'd be like, so like I'll watch your Joker video, and then I would love to see someone else's Joker video, just to kind of see, how they handle, how they do the angles and everything. It's just so fascinating to me. I think it's such a cool community that you can do that, even though it's such a simple thing. I think it's so cool. And I'm just very, no, sorry. Yeah, I just love that. I think it's so cool.
Style, right?
Sorry?
Like the style of
yes.
video. Like, and that's what I love about this too, because you're right. Like I've done some videos that have covered spots that have already been covered by other YouTubers, but I feel like mine is a little, it's my style,
Exactly.
And it's still, they're all still interesting to watch because of the editing style and just the commentary, how the shots. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so cool. And like you were saying, Mary, I was talking to Mary, and she was saying, she was trying to have her post, look a little different. And I think that's so just fun. It's like a fun thing to do and kind of think about. And it just brings a whole new perspective. And I think I appreciate that with people who do this type of thing. And and the videos go hand in hand with that. And I think it's so cool. But now going back to Joker, I only did a couple locations when I was there. I mean, first of all, I love that movie. I think it's amazing. And tell me about that. What locations did you go to? And I'm definitely gonna watch the video, and I'll post the video, and I'm very excited to see it. So love to hear the kind of your experience with that.
It was a beast, man. Obviously go just for that. This trip was planned almost a year ago, man. It was like 10 months ago. I just wanted to be back in the city for the 20th anniversary for 9/11.
Okay.
9/11 has always been a big, I've always been fascinated with the event. And even though I've always been in Texas, but anyway, I wanted to be in New York City for the 9/11 20th. And we attended a few events there. But while I was there, I was like, what can I document? And I'm like, man, like the year that came out, what was that?
Like 2019, I think.
2019, something like that, in the late summer when it came out, I think. I was the Joker. I had bought a costume online.
Me too.
Yeah, see, I did the makeup, and I was Joker for Halloween 2019. So the opportunity to get to New York again and to see those spots, that there it was. So I did the legwork, and I realized they're all over the place. They're not just in New York City.
Right.
They're Brooklyn, and New Jersey, and the Bronx. And so, I mean, I want to say I covered probably 90% of them. There was a subway spot that I had on my list that I could not get to because of different reasons for time. And that was unfortunate, but I had them on my list, but I couldn't get to those. But other than that, and there was actually one spot, maybe if you find this, you tell me. I could not figure out where this location is. The exterior of Murray, they call him
Murray, yeah.
Murray's Theater, or the building where that scene took place. The exterior is one shot, and I could not find out where that was. Now I scoured the internet. I messaged a few other good, sleuthers or whatever, and could not find it. So that's that. I have the screenshot right now. He's got the Robert De Niro's poster right outside, and it says Murray Show or whatever. And you can see the building. I'm just like, does anybody know where this building is? Like, what building is it? Could not find it. I would have loved to have got that, but I did not get it. But other than that, it was a couple subway spots. But outside of that, I think I covered most of what's shown in the film.
Oh, that's incredible.
It was awesome. Yeah,
I love it.
It was really fun. It was quite the task, but it was definitely fun.
Paid off because it looked cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, when you kind of do these, you mentioned you have teenagers. Is it kind of a family thing for these locations, or do you kind of just do it by yourself, or does it kind of vary?
Uh, a combination. So this trip was definitely a trip for me and my teens.
Mhm.
Because again, we were going to New York City for different reasons. We are going as tourists. We did attend the Madison Square Garden event on Sunday, which is we had like 20, 25 like famous comedians in attendance, and they did a 9/11 20th anniversary event there.
Oh,
We
cool.
were, we were there for that, and then some other things. And so I kind of try to mix the trip with things that entertain them and me, but at the same time, when we're going from A to B, we're hitting locations. So,
Right.
and my kids know me. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, so they know Dad's going to do what he does,
Hmm.
So I try to kind of mix it up so that I don't want them to feel like, hey, I brought you to New York City so that you can be dragged along and just to see filming locations. No, we're doing a bunch of other cool stuff too. So in this case, yes, I brought them, but I do visit Albuquerque quite a bit, and I do go quite a bit solo, or I meet locals over there,
Okay.
and I don't go with them. So I have a
Gotcha.
chance, yeah.
Gotcha. And it's a really cool way to kind of explore a city too, because like, there's a lot of places, especially in Texas. I mean, from my experience, at least, middle of nowhere where you would never ever go unless Texas Chainsaw House. I probably never would ever experience that, area unless that was there. So I think it's a really cool, eye opener for what else is out there that's not normally
Mhm.
visited.
Yeah,
So I think that's super
absolutely.
cool. Now, do you have any bucket list locations that you're kind of, looking forward to, or any trips planned, or anything that you really want to hit?
Yeah, I do. I do actually. We were just talking about that. I've got. I was just actually. I have a chat going on with with Mary and another good location friend of mine from Maine,
Mhm.
and we were just talking about. I've never been to Canada, so I want to get to Canada.
Yes,
I mean,
it's a beast.
Canada is the exactly. It's the Hollywood of the North.
Right.
So I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, Canada, is it,
It. Yep.
the original it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I draw blanks. But there's a
There's so
ton,
many.
so much in Canada. Rambo. I mean, I can just go on.
Hmm.
But yeah, bucket list. I was just talking about that. Um, this is another spot that's been done by countless of people. I mean, everybody who does film movies, but I haven't done Philadelphia yet. So
Okay.
the Rocky Steps is definitely a must for me. Um, that is Philadelphia, right?
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah.
The art museum.
Yes. And I just recently I could scratch one off the bucket list recently. In May, I traveled so my buddy in Maine, I met him in Maryland, and we did a bunch of Blair Witch stuff. And then we
Nice.
drove down from Maryland down to Georgia. And in that drive, we hit up the DC Georgetown area, and I got to see the Exorcist stuff.
Oh,
So that was cool.
that's my bucket list.
Yeah, got the steps. I got the steps, and of course the house, and I think there's another shot that we got. Just kept making our way down, and eventually, the Conjuring house was in North
Yes.
Carolina. We stopped by there, but I struck out with that because I saw some YouTube videos, and the caretaker or whatever was he's very open to people stopping by. But when we showed up, no one was there, so the gate was closed, and there's cameras all over, and it's like, what do we do? I don't
Right.
want to approach the house and when no one's there, and kind of struck out on that. But I did get to see the house from
Mhm.
distance. I wanted to go to the back because that's where the fake tree was and all
Yep.
that. So
Yeah,
But
I hit the Conjuring house recently too, and the gate was also closed. I wasn't aware of that the caretaker was still open, or else I would have. Because I saw like a car there or something, and I'm kind of bummed I didn't go more. But I'm definitely have to go back. That's a location I got to get back to. And
yeah, I definitely want to get back to. I'm jealous of I'm sure you probably know of or watched the Grim Life Collective
Yep,
YouTube.
yep.
Yeah, he did a great video there, and I was inspired to get to Conjuring House because of that video. And yeah, just no one was there, and I was like, man, I don't want to be trespassing stuff. So
Right, I feel
um,
you.
yeah, so that's a big one for me, The Conjuring. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I did some Hawaii stuff that was
Oh,
bucket
sick.
list stuff. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I still have a few. I have some big ones on the list. I'm sure that I can think of.
There's
You
always
know.
horror locations.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like for me, I think the Stranger's house I think is really up there for
Yes,
me.
that was actually on our list from our drive down from on the coast. But when we realized where it actually was, it was quite a bit inland. I forget the town that's in. You might know.
On the tip of my tongue, it'll come to me at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah. It's a little bit inland, and we were driving, you know, Blair Witch stuff to DC, and then down like in North Carolina, South Carolina, and we eventually landed in Georgia, and we did a bunch of stuff in Georgia. But yeah, the strangers house was on our list, but it was just too far. I think it was like 4 hours inland. It was just not
Yeah,
feasible. It was
yeah.
not feasible.
Luckily, like the Conjuring house, like it's easier to get to. It's like 40 minutes from Wilmington, which is nice.
Right.
But yeah, it's like locations like that where a couple hours. It's a trick, but it's worth it.
We did get to do the Halloween 2018 in South Carolina.
Oh,
I got to,
sweet.
I got a good chunk of good stuff there. That was fun. We actually got permission from the property owner. So I don't want to go too far off track, but basically, like the scene where Michael starts his killing spree,
Hmm?
he goes through somebody's backyard and goes to a shed, right? That property owner was outside. We talked to her, and she gave us permission to kind of do a reenactment.
So
And
cool.
my buddy had a 2018 Michael Myers mask with him.
That's
So
amazing.
I shot it, and I don't think I did anything with that on YouTube yet. I've got so much I need to edit. But yeah, I did put the clip together, but I don't think I've shared it on the internet yet. But we got to do that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cool. I want to see that video for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do love when people are so open to having, when they're so cool about, walking on their property and stuff like that. I think it's so cool. And obviously you're going to run into people who aren't as, forgiving with that. But from my experience, I would say, actually, I haven't had a bad experience, but like for the most part, everyone's been super, cordial, and they've come out and like, a lot of times they'll know information about the film and things like that. So I think that's super fun to kind of have.
Yeah. For the most part, I don't have bad experiences, but I've had some. I've had some.
Sure.
In Georgia, I was kicked out the store one time, and even at the Joker, right outside of Arthur's, the Ha-Ha's at headquarters. This guy was just not very welcoming. I had to kind of edit around that, but I got what I needed to get. But it was not a very welcoming location there.
Sure.
So,
well, that's good to know when I go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I can't remember if I was this you or not. Did you go to Camp Crystal Lake? I saw Mary there. I don't know if were you with her with that?
Mary went recently. I have not been to, I always forget the name of the actual lake, but in New Jersey, no, I have not been there.
Okay.
I have been to the 2009 remake.
Mm-hmm.
That was filmed here in Texas.
That's crazy.
In Bastrop, Texas. So I have been to I've been to two Camp Crystal Lakes. The one in 2009 film here in Bastrop. I went to that one. I did a video on that, and then I've gone to the one in Georgia, actually in May,
Okay.
for part 6. That's it.
Okay.
I've not been to New Jersey
Gotcha.
for that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my bucket lists is Camp Crystal Lake for sure. So cool.
It's a big thing for horror fans. So
Mhm.
Mary just recently did that, and so that was pretty cool for her. She got to
Yeah.
actually meet Adrian King was there,
Oh, no way.
and the guy, I forget his name, the guy that played the young Jason that grabs her.
Oh, that's so
They were
cool.
both there, and she got some shots of them. That was cool.
So jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
sweet. Well, cool. I mean, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I just appreciate you hopping on real quick and getting to know you. And yeah, I can't wait to see more of your videos and more of your work and, share it with everybody. And yeah, keep it
Yeah,
up.
I just kind of like recently, I say recently, but I just started to kind of transition my Instagram to what I do now. I've always done what I do, but my Instagram was more, it wasn't fixed on a certain niche. It was just like my life.
Okay.
But now I kind of turned it into what you see it now. And I'm trying to get the like-minded folks to check it out, because I know my original followers they're people that I went to school with, maybe their family and friends, and you know how that works. It's just they're not. But so that's why I tag. And if you have any tips on some tags that I can hashtags that I can use that are pretty effective, I only use like 3 or 4 of them that I know. If you know of any others that will gain some traction, I'm happy to include those.
Yeah.
No, I want to share my stuff, and I want to see other people
100%
do the same thing. Yeah.
And I want to be able to share your stuff so people can see it. Because one of the reasons why I'm into this is because I love just connecting with people who are in the same, who love it as well. And it's really cool. And there's a lot more people than you think, which is really cool. So, and then more people pop up every day on Instagram. And I think it's fascinating.
Let me ask you, the photos on your page, those are your photos?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is Onset App like just, it's all you?
So it's me and 2 other guys essentially, but I do all the location hunting basically. The other guy Joe, he basically is like the developer for the website and the app, and then my other guy Jesse, he's the designer, and I'm the location guy basically.
Cool.
So I do all the information, I do all the scouting, I'm the Instagram, I run the Instagram, I do all the stuff. So.
Nice, because you had some recent New York stuff.
Yes.
So were you in New York recently, or this is just stuff that you're got? Okay, cool.
I was there literally probably 2 weeks ago, so right before you.
Nice, right before me. Yeah, I was definitely inspired by your Cloverfield stuff. I didn't even go to New York with Cloverfield in mind, and when I saw your post, I was like, dude, Cloverfield, like I gotta look into that. And sure enough, it was like there's literally 3 or 4 spots only in New York that they actually filmed in.
Right.
And I was fascinated by that. And I said, I can do that. I already told you the whole story about the wrong arch. I'm like, kicking myself. So I have an idea of how I'm going to do the video. I think I'm going to do a voiceover. I'm just going to kind of explain this epic fail. I didn't bring screenshots to that location, but I did map to gray shot arch. And it took me there, and I thought it was there, and I just didn't match it up.
Gotcha.
And that's going to be my kind of like out and talk, because I feel like I have to show it, because that's a huge location for the film. Like there's only 4, and that's a big one. And I went in there and I was lining up the bricks to see where they were sitting up against, and it's the wrong arch.
That happens.
Killing me, man. That's probably the one only wrong location, like, or a mistake that I can think of on the top of my head. Damn, man, it's such a big one too.
That's something I worry about sometimes. Like I'll post, and because things look so similar sometimes. It's like I worry about if I'll post something and someone responds and like, oh, hey, that's the wrong location, which I kind of like when they do that, if it's ever wrong, which it hasn't been yet, but crossing my fingers that never happens. But I do appreciate that people will reach out and they're like, hey, no, this is wrong, but here's the real one. So I think that's really nice.
I'm such a perfectionist, and like I'm sitting there and I'm lining up shot. I have my son. My son was the one that's taking photos of me. I didn't have the screenshots on me. So the biggest tell is like the arch itself, like the what do you call it? The trim is just not the same. Like all I had to do is see that then. But you know, you're moving and at this point it was like literally dusk. So we're running. I mean, we're minutes from losing daylight.
Okay.
So I'm just like getting it in, and then I get back home and I'm looking at the footage and the photos. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the same arch. So anyway, that's I'll have to live with that for a while, but I'll get back to New York City at some point.
For sure. They'll correct it. It'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cloverfield's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I had to do some of the locations there for sure.
Yeah.
But
I actually just rewatched it before the trip, and I did the whole the Grand Central Station.
I didn't do that one, but next
Where
time.
they're running up Park Avenue, and you actually see, I call him Clover, his foot smashes. I got that shot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I accidentally ran into the Bloomington
nice.
Bloomington's relocation. That was on my list of like, oh man, I'm not gonna have time to get that. We missed our subway stop by like 2 stops, and we were staying on 7th Avenue.
Okay.
And we happened to get off on 59th, and got out of the off the subway. I was like, wait a minute, that's the Bloomington. And I was like, okay,
that's crazy.
I got to record a clip. So I got it. So I guess that makes up for my of gray shot arch, you know, like for Cloverfield, but the arch. So I can live with it.
You can live with it. You'll get to it next time. The beautiful thing is it'll be there next time you go to New York. So
yeah.
But cool. Well, sweet. Yeah. Well, we'll wrap this up. And again, I appreciate you hopping on, and it was really great to meet you and really cool to hear your experiences. And yeah, I'm excited to share your stuff and share this with everybody. And hopefully more people will check out your videos and make that happen. So, and I'll send you tips. I'll send you some hashtags that I use that have been working for me. So I'll send you a list.
So. Yeah, that would be good. Great, actually.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Anything I can do to help. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, good luck. And if you're ever I'm in Minneapolis or St. Paul, but if you're ever in the Minnesota area and hit up some location, just hit me up.
What's the biggest spot over there?
Mighty Ducks is a big
okay.
And then Jingle All the Way, Fargo. There's a couple others. Sorry, what was it?
Jingle All the Way?
Mm-hmm. It was all shot in Minneapolis, St. Paul area.
Fargo, nice.
Yeah, Fargo. Grumpy Old Men.
What was that? There was another. What's the state that Napoleon Dynamite is in? Remember?
I can look it up.
What I was going to say about that is, I've had there is literally no reason for me to go to that state, but I want to go to that state for Dynamite.
Right.
And they embrace it too. I've seen other people's. That's another cool thing about locations. And when the owner or the business owner or the whatever embraces the.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to restaurants and they put a plaque that commemorates, these 2 characters.
That's cool.
I love
that, man.
You like Ozark?
Yes.
Yes, I did it was like 5 videos. I did all of Ozark in Georgia.
So cool.
Check that out. And a lot of places in Ozark, Georgia, embrace Ozark. So it's still filming.
Yeah. I got to check those out. I got to do a Georgia trip at some point, but that'll happen.
Yeah. Georgia's the beast, man. Atlanta's a beast to get around.
Yeah, it is. But Idaho is Napoleon Dynamite, by the way.
Idaho, that's it.
Yeah, I always forget. It's forgettable.
Idaho for that at least. And in Utah, so I did a video on in Colorado for Dumb and Dumber Colorado locations.
Mm-hmm.
I did all locations, but I haven't been to Utah to do the rest.
Gotcha.
So Got to get to Utah at some point and do that.
Yeah, Hereditary, Halloween's. Yeah, there's a
Right, man.
yeah, it's a
Uh,
whole another beast. I feel like Utah is like a quiet beast. Like you don't really think about it, but then you're like, oh wait, there's a lot, like Sandlot, and there's a lot of stuff out there.
now that you've mentioned that, it sure is.
Mhm.
Um,
But yeah, that's for another time. Well, cool. Well, have a good rest of your Sunday and enjoy your day. I'm gonna watch some football. And
your first name was Joe, right? You said
yes,
the other two, right? There's two
there's
Joes.
two Joes and a Jesse, so all the J's. But I'm Joe B.
Joby.
Joe B. Yeah, so that's usually what people call me because other Joe it gets confusing. But cool, man.
Well, for having me. Nice meeting you. And send me whatever tips you got. And yeah, you're awesome. And yeah,
Well,
thanks
thanks,
for
and you
having
as
me.
well. We'll be in touch on social then.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Cool,
Joe.
man. Yeah, have a good one. Talk soon.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.